You are a Grey Warden, so it follows that you can't be a woman. Women are priests, artisans, shopkeepers, or farmers. They don't fight. What does that have to do with anything? No one gets to choose who they are. Of course not. It is who I am. That's not up to me. A person is born, Gunari or human or elven or dwarf. He doesn't choose that. The size of his hands, whether he is clever or foolish, the land he comes from, the color of his hair, these are beyond his control. We do not choose, we simply are. Can they? We'll see.
Why? Is that so strange? It was my home.
What?
What? Mother occasionally had company.
What? Company? Do I even want to ask?
No, you really don't.
Suffer the delay of his...
Vieta! This land is held in trust for the sovereign dwarven kings. I cannot allow entry at this time.
King Loghain demands the allegiance of the Desher, or lords, or whatever you call them in your assembly. I am his appointed messenger.
I don't care if you're the king's wiper. Orzammar will have none but its own until our throne is settled.
Who doesn't? If I don't get in, no one should.
Orzammar has no king. Endrin Idukan returned to the stone not 3 weeks ago, sick over the loss of his sons. The Assembly has gone through a dozen votes without agreeing on a successor. If it is not settled soon, we risk a civil war.
The Wardens killed King Cailan and nearly doomed Ferelden. They're sworn enemies of King Loghain.
Well, that is the Royal Seal. That means only the Assembly is authorized to address it. Grey Warden, you may pass.
You're letting in a traitor? And a foreigner? In the name of King Loghain, I demand that you execute this stain on the honor of Ferelden. I will at that. I'm a messenger of King Loghain.
Kill each other as you will, but take your sodding fight off my doorstep.
Enemies ahead! I am your Oh, this is
Grey Warden!
begin the onslaught. You will learn to Yes.
Okay, done with you now.
Another battle, I Yes.
You've done me a service. That fool Imrek was barking for a week. Are all humans so touched? You are free to enter Orzammar, Grey Warden. Though I don't know what help you will find.
It is the Assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or, as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew!
Handlers, separate these dashers in the Diamond Quarter. I will not have Balin incite a riot.
Do not speak that way about the man who should be king! won't have fighting in the Commons, especially in front of outsiders. Vieta, Surfacer. I'm bid to let you walk the Commons, but keep your place. Warden or not, I want order. Surface problems. Well, we have no king to hear you. You can join the shouting at the assembly in the Diamond Quarter if you want. Bunch of Desher lords bickering over sand. Balin, Harrowmont. Is one so different? No paragons here. Surfacers appoint no paragons? Truly, you're lost in all that sky. They are the best of us, declared living ancestors. If you must be our warden, at least know us. Go to the Shaper of Memories in the Shaperate, the true bright spot in the Diamond Quarter. They've caged themselves for fear of each other. As you've seen, keeping order down among us working people is dodgy. No place for a proper lord. Balin speaks through his second, Vartag Gavorn, in the Assembly. Lord Harrowmont speaks through Dulin Ferender from his estate. Yes, you should.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Ferender. Second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help. That may be, and that is a terrible risk for the surface. But even if the world would end tomorrow, Lord Harrowmont cannot ignore Balin today. He cannot afford to trust anyone of unproven loyalties. They're asking the King of Orzammar to send armies to the surface, but Orzammar has no king and we have no army. Right now, the men who should be fighting Darkspawn are brawling in the street. If this situation is not resolved, we face civil war. If you want Lord Harrowmont's time now, you'll have to prove you have no intention of turning against him later. If you wish to show you have no loyalty to Balin, then work against him in Harrowmont's name. Balin is hosting a proving today, supposedly to honor his father's memory. The Deshers take it very seriously, and unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down. It would certainly make your loyalties loud and clear. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then. Then I'm afraid your only choice is to wait until there's a winner. Lord Harrowmont cannot risk his life working with someone of unproven loyalties. If you change your mind, let me know. The proving is this afternoon, and Lord Harrowmont could certainly use you on his side.
Warden, welcome. It is always a blessing for Orzammar to host your order. I am Vartag Gavorn, top advisor to our good Prince Balin. What news do you bring? Ah, ancient documents indeed. These were signed in the reign of Eithnar Bimo, Paragon and King. That was 16 generations ago. Now the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now. No one wishes this fight over more than Balin. But while it rages, Orzammar can spare no one to combat what may or may not be a new blight. I believe you, but what are we to do? If Balin followed his heart and sent his men to aid you, Harrowmont would steal his throne. We would defeat the Blight and return to find our homeland devastated by an incompetent tyrant. Perhaps you could prove to Prince Balin your intentions are just. If you show you owe Harrowmont no fealty, I'm sure Balin would help you. Harrowmont has engaged in a campaign of bribery and coercion to ensure that every house serves him. But if a neutral party, a stranger, were to approach certain key members, perhaps with irrefutable evidence of Harriman's deception, I'm certain my Lord Prince would show his gratitude. Harriman promised the same portion of his estate to two different Deshers, Lady Dace and Lord Helmy. Harriman can't possibly grant it to both of them, but they won't find out until after the vote is cast. I have copies of the promissory notes Harriman gave each of them. Once they see those, they should both reconsider their votes. That's not important. If they ask, say you found them while searching the Shaper's libraries for your tree. Very well, but do not expect my prince to see you as anything more than another ignorant surfacer. I will be here if you change your mind.
The Assembly is in session. Enter quietly if you wish.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the service trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Deshers, lords and ladies of the Assembly. I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Balin's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough! The Assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions. Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. I'm sorry. This is the Assembly of the Clans. Only Deshers and occasional guests of state are allowed in. Forgive me. I am so exhausted. I completely forgot about the message from the gate guard. Welcome to Orzammar, Warden. I hope you can forgive our unrest. The loss of our king has hit us hard. Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne. Troubling, but it will still seem distant compared to the empty throne. The Assembly is blind to all else. This is their world, and it ended when Endrin died. Dulan for Endrin, Harriman's man, can be found at the Harriman estate. Vartag Gavorn, Prince Balin's second, is often here in the Assembly. I only wish there was more I could do for you.
Do you see how things lie, Warden? Lord Harriman cannot trust you unproven, but he welcomes a good faith gesture. The provings are how our ancestors show their judgment, pitting body against body in a ring of scared stone. Everyone in Orzammar accepts that judgment. The usual. A couple of Idukans, some Gavorns. He has many men lined up, but not all of them are top-ranking. Piotin Idukan and Wojciech Ivo are his best. They're both unpredictable, and some of the best fighters Orzammar has seen. I served under General Harriman for 3 years. He is the king Orzammar needs, especially in a blight. Balin would call any fight a victory so long as he remains standing. Have you decided then? Will you enter the provings in Harriman's name? Excellent. The arena is located off the Commons. Talk to the Proving Master and tell him you're entering Lord Harriman's roster. The key fighters we lost were Guidon and Beisel. You can look for them in the fighters' preparation chambers behind the ring. And be sure it's before the fights begin. After the first bout, no one may change the roster. If you need to find me again, I will wait in the Tapster's Tavern off the Commons. There is no better place to hear gossip. Perhaps even word of your victory.
Holy sodding ancestors. How can you people just ignore that?
Bronca didn't go alone, Ogren. She took the whole house, everybody but you. So just get over to Tapster's and drown yourself already. You know as well as I do that's how this always ends.
You think I'm afraid of some cub warrior who's barely off the teat? Ha!
You lift a weapon or attack a single citizen in Orzammar, and you're stripped of your caste and exiled. Even you can't have forgotten that. Get out of here before I call a guardsman. Can you believe it? Ogren's barely even warrior caste anymore, and he just clomps in here like he's entitled. Well, he killed Lord Mino's youngest son in a duel to first blood. It was a huge scandal. Ogren should have been executed, but he'd won honors in the Deep Roads. Instead, they stripped him of all weapons and forbid him from engaging in fights within city limits. If he breaks the decree, he'll be exiled. The only paragon in the last 4 generations. Quite an honor for a girl from the Smith caste. She invented a smokeless fuel that let the Smith caste increase their output by nearly 1/3. Deaths from the Black Lung also dropped. The Assembly said she had the favor of the ancestors and declared her a paragon. They moved Bronca, Ogren, and all their relatives to the noble caste and founded a new house in her name. Chasing some old treasure, she was quite secretive. Outright rude, really. She said she never asked to found a house, that she didn't care about politics, and that we were too self-absorbed to defeat the Darkspawn. She actually threatened anyone who said they'd come after her. If you see any guardsmen, tell them Ogren was at it again.
This is all I have right now. I could get more if I sell something.
Well, well, looks like we have a visitor. Friend of yours?
Is there a problem here, friend? Are these men threatening you?
Please, don't get involved with this. You don't know what they're like.
Then allow me to make some introductions. These are dangerous times in Orzammar, stranger. Lucky us, the merciful Jarvia is offering protection from the chaos. You're wearing some fancy stuff there. Might make you a target. So if you want the Carta's guarantee of safety, it's yours for the reasonable price of 10 gold sovereigns. Or I can't say what might happen. You know what? I'm thinking I do.
You should have known, son!
Another point.
What have you done? Great ancestors, he's dead! In my store. I have to get out of here. I have to hide. Jarvia will hunt me down for this. I've never met her, of course. They say she never leaves Dusttown. That's the older area of the city where the casteless congregate. She's the one directing this depravity. Since good King Endrin died, they're getting bolder. I wouldn't be surprised if her men come after me in the Diamond Quarter itself. Back to work? I can't stay here after that. Jarvia will be looking for me. Actually, we shouldn't be talking here. I need to run.
Here.
And if you had not been recruited, what would have happened instead?
I would have turned into a drooling lunatic, slaughtered the Grand Cleric, and run through the streets of Denham in my small clothes, I guess.
Your self-awareness does you credit.
I thought you'd like that.
Look, I already told the Proving Master I withdrew. Do you have to keep harassing me? Nor I you, but it's pretty obvious who you're working for. You're working for Harrowmont? Look, best of luck to you, but I really need to leave. I am. So if you're not here to... How do you know who I am? Don't think there's anything you can say to shame me that I haven't already told myself.
You new in the fights? I don't remember seeing you before. It's a pleasure. Sorry it can't be longer. Name's Guidon, and I just tendered my resignation. Somehow I don't think the ancestors will favor me today. I fought for House Harrowmont in the Deep Roads for 20 years, and will again. I don't regret a minute of that service. But it's my family's job to protect this city, not get caught up in political games better left to the noble caste. It's not so much what happened, as what's going to. I heard from a reliable source Lord Harrowmont's already given up the throne. Balin called this whole proving to let his lordship save face when he concedes. Oh? And where did you hear this that's more reliable than a member of the Assembly? Whatever Harrowmont's plan is, Dulin would be in on it. I'm sorry. You seem sincere, and I wish you luck. But if you're wrong, you don't have to live in the consequences.
The proving will begin shortly. I'm sure you can find a place in the stands. Or were you here to take part in the fight? Well, that's a surprise. Never thought the Grey Wardens would take an interest in our king. Let me just put you into the schedule here. Now, is there a particular name you wish listed? We'll just call you Grey Warden, seeing as those human names are a real burr to pronounce. We actually have an opening in the first round. Are you ready to start? That's what I like to hear. I will warn you, though. This is your last chance to make preparations or meet the competition. Once the fights begin, there are no new additions to the roster. All withdrawals are treated as losses and a sign of the ancestors' disfavor. Do you want to start, or would you like some time? The fighters' quarters are behind the ring. Go down to the ring, then. I'll be right there. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. First up is Sewern of the warrior caste. Many of you remember when Sewern made history as a lad of 12 by defeating his own father in this very ring. Today, he fights as a champion for Prince Balin. Opposing him, in Lord Harrowmont's name, is a member of the famed Grey Wardens.
In the name of House Iduken, and our future King Balin.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
More blows approach! This is a waste of time! Will not end well for you.
The winner is the Grey Warden! That was an exciting start, Warden. Sewern is rarely trounced, and so thoroughly. Are you ready for your next opponent? Excellent! Let us go. This is a glory proving. This round, Harrowmont's champion takes on the notorious duo, The warrior caste's twin terrors now fighting for Prince Balin, Miaja and Lukjan.
May the stone honor you.
When you fall.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
To arms!
Watch your back, Miaja!
John, it's time
No
to
quarter!
fight! Now you die!
This one thinks the best of me.
To arms!
How foolish.
Let's get out to you! Lord Harriman should have chosen a better champion!
The winner is the Grey Warden! Well, that was an exciting bout. 2 on 1, and you took them both easily. Are you ready for your next opponent? Excellent! Let us go. This is a glory proving. Harriman's champion cleared the stone. But can she hold out against the Paragon's own favorites, the Silent Sisters? We'll find out as the Warden faces Lady Hanashan, who proves her worth to Paragon Ashtith the Grey by cutting out her own tongue. And to our Prince Balin by fighting in his name. First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
Enemies ahead! Are you truly such a fool? Close! There is no hope for you now! It will be done. Of course. Leave while you can! Too much.
The winner is the Grey Warden! Harriman will be pleased, Warden. The Silent Sister support was a great boost for Balin. Are you ready for your next opponent? Excellent! Let us go. This is a glory proving. This round is paired combat. Just as Kiatchet fought as King Bloodlik II, defending our empire, so have dwarves always fought alongside a second. Master of all weapons, prisoner of none, Orzammar has never won the way twice. What will he do today, lords and ladies? And will it win the day for Prince Balin? Grey Warden, choose your second, for you face Orzammar and Galan. Last one standing will be declared victor! Fight! The winner is the Grey Warden! That was one of the best this arena has seen, Warden. Harriman, pick wisely. Are you ready for your next opponent? Excellent. Let us go. This is the glory proving. Only 2 warriors remain. Fighting for his royal son Balin, Piotr has led his team to triumph over anyone so far. Challenging him on behalf of Lord Harriman, the Grey Warden has risen from nothing to stand at the competition summit. Each will lead a full unit of 4 soldiers to see once and for all who the ancestors favor.
You might well, your judgment is a question. The throne will never be House Duke.
Last one standing will be declared victor!
Fight!
Just die already!
Another battle ahead!
Watch over there! Glorious! We'll not wait for it! This will take forever!
Begin the onslaught! Cannibals will not end well!
Put you out of your misery. I think we work well together.
The winner is the Grey Warden! Congratulations! You defeated the man Prince Trian himself once called the Horns of my army. Do you deny this Grey Warden has earned the championship? Then it is my honor to declare this Grey Warden champion of the Proving, who has shown that the ancestors favor Lord Heromont. Through this day, we affirm the friendship between our city and your order.
Good fight today. I'm sorry I had to sit it out.
When my arm heals, you watch out, Duster.
Not bad, sir.
Do not disturb me. I must meditate before my fight.
Congratulations, my cousin will be proud.
That was an excellent showing.
No, you are so alike, I thought you kindred.
What is that supposed to mean? What does the sun do?
A flower.
Oh? I am a flower, am I? How unexpected.
That entraps and devours insects.
Ah, now that I expected.
Atrasvala, champion. I hear your performance in the Proving was nothing short of amazing. There can no longer be any doubt where your sympathies lie. If you're ready, Lord Heromont will see you now. Join me here when you're ready to leave.
Told him I don't understand.
What do you want? Hey, I heard about you. Grey Warden, coming from the surface. Great crisis in the world. People are saying how you've thrown yourself on Heromont's wagon train. I figured you'd be the one, you know, who could help me find Branka. But I guess you're just like all the rest. You don't need a king to face a blight. You need a paragon. The Assembly elects them, but they're higher than the Assembly. They become nobles, but they're more than anyone born to a house. They're what every dwarf with a spine not made of soap dreams of being. City's only living paragon, and she's been lost in the deep roads for 2 years. 2 years, and no one's raised a bleeding army to go look for her. What's it matter to you, huh? You trying to find out her secrets? That what Heromont sent you here for? I know he's been poking around, trying to find things out about her, what she was looking for. Won't tell me spit, though. He looking to take it for himself? A little lost technology of the ancients to throw Balin right out of the picture? You are looking for it. Course. Well, sod off and sod your mother, too. You keep on your errands. Until your boss really commits to looking, you're getting nothing but smoke out of old Ogren.
I mean, it's how the ancestors show their favor. Do they really need...
Are you ready to see his lordship now? The honor is ours to have found such a staunch and upright ally. His lordship is looking forward to meeting you. His lordship appreciates your support.
I appreciate what you have done, Warden, and I apologize for putting one of your rank through such trials. I am Lord Pyral Harrowmont, and I thank you for your efforts to help me preserve King Endrin's throne. For us, the Darkspawn are a constant menace, so a blight may not elicit the same urgency you are used to. Ultimately, the Assembly decides what troops to send. If they no longer fear civil war, they'll have no reason to hold back. If you want my support to count, I will have to be king. And right now, there is no sure way to get there. Have you heard of a woman named Jarvia and the criminal carter she runs? The Assembly receives pleas every day from the common folk, begging that something be done about her. So far, no one has managed. Jarvia hides her base in Dusttown, the raw edges of the city where no one lives but castless and criminals. If you would help me in this, it would show the Assembly that I, and not Balin, have the ability to defend and rule this city. Do this, and I promise if I take the throne, I will not stop until the Assembly sends your troops. Look for Jarvia in Dusttown. Do whatever it takes to see justice served.
Jarvia said you were looking for trouble. Congratulations. You found it.
Right then.
I have beaten one.
Don't kill me! Sorry, ancestors! What do they teach you on the surface? You fight like a bleeding archdemon. Sweet bloody stone, look at them all! No! Jarvia will kill me if I tell you. I might as well die fighting.
Now we get our hands dirty. Yes.
What's the password? Looks like we have a martyr, boys.
A bit more dying.
Is your time
Please, stranger. Let me out. I see you bear no love for Jarvia. Thank you. We've been down here. It's been so long. My friend didn't make it. Just stopped eating one day, and all for a stupid bet.
So, Harrowmont finally realized we're taking the city, yet he still can't be bothered to send his own men. Well, you picked the wrong side, stranger. It doesn't matter who's king, as long as there's a queen. You'll pay for their deaths 100 times over. Kill them! But leave the pretty one alive. I have plans for her.
I want you out of your misery. Okay, I'm done with you now. Right there.
Very well. I am done with that.
say?
Victorious!
This part takes forever!
Yes.
It will be done. Of course. As you say.
Another vanquished. Enough!
I am hurt. Yes. If you were more careful, that wouldn't happen.
It will be done.
I heard the news. Jarvia and Hakata are dead. I suppose it was unrealistic to expect them to surrender. I have no desire to go back on my word. But when Balin heard the news about Jarvia, he raised the stakes. He is forcing a vote in the next 2 days. By law, that prevents the Assembly from hearing any other pleas. To help with your troops, I will require your assistance one last time. Do you know anything of the Paragon Branca? Two years ago, she took her entire house into the Deep Roads on a mad quest to uncover ancient secrets. No one's heard from her since. Were she to return and endorse someone for the throne, the Assembly would be honor-bound to accept her wishes. It's hard to say what she would do. She wasn't exactly known for her predictability. She never seemed to like being a paragon. She was devoted to her craft, never cared for politics. But one of the most brilliant minds Orzammar has seen. Branca hated Darkspawn with a passion. She would certainly be a valuable voice to support your treaty. My men traced Branca's disappearance to an ancient crossroads known as Caradin's Cross. It is many miles below where we normally venture, but I can provide a map to lead you there. Just enter the deep roads through the mines. Thank you again, and may the ancestors guide your steps.
There you are. I thought I'd spoken to a Grey Warden, but for some reason I chalked it up to the drink. I know you're down here to look for Branca, and I need to ask a favor. Name's Ogren, and if you've ever heard of me before, it's probably all been about how I piss ale and kill little boys who look at me wrong. And that's mostly true. But the part they never say is how I'm the only one still trying to save our only paragon. And if you're looking for Branca, I'm the only one who knows what she was looking for, which might be pretty sodding helpful in finding her. Believe me, I have. But where she was going, it's a lost tag. No one's seen it in centuries. I searched as far as I could, but it would take teams of warriors searching weeks on end to cover enough ground to hope to find it. Which I assume is just what Harrimon's men have done. And they shared what they found with you. But they haven't found Branca herself. And that means whatever they've got, it's not enough if you don't know what she was looking for. If we pool our knowledge, we stand a chance of finding Branca. Otherwise, good sodding luck. Then if Harrowmont knows so much, how come none of his men have found her already? Branca was a brilliant girl, but half the time she'd add 2 and 2 and make it 50. You want to find her, you need someone who knows how she thinks. You should know that Branca was looking for the Anvil of the Void, the secret to building golems, which was lost centuries ago. The smith Caridin built it, and with it, Orzammar had 100 years of peace, while it was protected by the golems forged on the anvil. No one's ever found a way to duplicate it. But if Branka could recover it, Orzammar might finally drive the Darkspawn back for good. As far as anyone knows, the anvil was built in the old Orton Taig. Branka planned to start looking there, if she could ever find it. All she knew was that it was past Caridin's cross. No one's seen that Taig for 500 years. Great. Once we're there, I should be able to pick up Branka's trail, no trouble. Lead on.
What's this? A human? Did we make these tunnels tall enough for humans? I'm sorry, but I cannot allow you past the front lines without Adesh's permission.
But Commander, Lord Harrowmount sent the word to let the Warden pass.
Ah, right. Welcome through then, Warden. I'd offer more assistance, but my command post is here. All of Orzammar relies on us to hold this line. What anyone knows? She went out there with her entire house and she's never coming back.
You don't think maybe she's still there, Commander? She is a paragon, after all.
And now she's an ancestor. No one lasts 2 years in the tunnels. Of course not. Down here, you're bound to run into giant spiders, deep stalkers, and other vermin. Best of luck.
Well, look what we have here. A couple of Harrowmont's little lackeys. Let's show them who's king.
Enemies ahead!
Before dying,
It's your time to die!
Let's have
It is done.
You know, Nightmare Eyes make me
Another call.
Let them come! It saves us the walk to their lairs!
Down you go!
We're not killing one who is already dead!
Yes.
Dead! Have nothing to lose! And back! We're gonna kill one who is already dead! Ancestors, grant us victory!
Victorious!
Yes, begin the onslaught. Mock me and you shall pay. I knew it.
Trasvala, Grey Warden. I've never seen one of your kind in the deep roads. In the Legion of the Dead, we abandon our lives to be free of fear, free of hopeful blindness. The coming blight is obvious to us. The surprise is not that you have come, but that you have come in so small a number. What do you want here, Warden? It's an odd tactic, recruiting from the front line. The Darkspawn pitch their camps in our tunnels between your blights, you know. Give me a dwarven reason to look topside. Who put this dull idea in your head? We got other things to worry about in Orzammar. Ah, now I see. The Deep Lords in the Assembly can't make up their minds, so the Pretenders need added influence. I get that right? It's not my job to shore up the Assembly chasing dead legends. The Legion holds a line so those fools have time to put an ass on the throne. After that, we'll be the first into the dead trenches. Might even tackle your blight, though that's a surfacer's problem. You want to go digging blind? You go right ahead. Black Dusters have heard of respect. Never seen it. And if it exists, it wasn't meant for me. But if you're looking for paragons, you may as well look for the Anvil, and Endless Lyrium. Why? The other kingdoms only care when the Darkspawn march in the light. But they are always here, always pushing. Your nightmare is my everyday. Our resolve gives you a rest between blights. A surge on the surface would give us a break. When the time comes, I'll care for a good dwarven reason. Sod the rest. We die in the eyes of our brothers so we can fight without fear. That's all you need to know. To say more invites judgment, or worse, imitation. Good luck, Grey Warden.
What is this? A human? Bland and unlikely. Feeding time brings only kin and clan. I am cruel to myself. You are a dream of strangers' faces and open doors. No. No, you can't. There's nothing left. There's body, and there's hope. And both are turning. They come. They vomit. They violate. And they chant. They scream. Oh, how they scream. Then the change comes. All I could do was wish Laren went first. I wished it upon her so that I would be spared. But I had to watch. I had to see the change. How do you endure that? How did Branka endure? Do not talk of Branka, of what she did. Ancestors preserve us. Forgive me. I was her captain, and I didn't stop her. Her lover, and I could not turn her. Forgive her. But no, she cannot be forgiven. Not for what she did. Not for what she has become. I will not speak of her, of what she did, of what we have become. I will not turn. I will not become what I have seen. Not Laren, not Branka.
This should be good.
As you say,
Alright. Go! Run where you can!
Greywater! Take
You will not win!
I have silenced. It is done.
Yes.
bleeding badly. I am terribly wounded.
That's where they come from. That's why they hate us. That's why they need us. That's why they take us. That's why they feed us. But the true abomination is not that it occurred, but that it was allowed. Branka, my love. The stone has punished me, dream friend. I am dying of something worse than death. Betrayal.
Victorious. Good.
I would like bandages.
Indeed.
Yes.
Vashaden.
Yes.
What was that?
Let me be blunt with you. After all this time, my tolerance for social graces is fairly limited. That doesn't bother you, I hope.
Well, shave my back and call me an elf. Branka, by the stone! I barely recognized you!
Oghren. It figures you'd eventually find your way here. Hopefully you can find your way back more easily. And how shall I address you? Hired sword of the latest lordling to come looking for me? Or just the only one who didn't mind Oghren's ale breath?
Be respectful, woman. You're talking to a Grey Warden.
Ah, so an important errand boy, then. I suppose something serious has happened. Is Endrin dead? That seems most likely. He was on the old and wheezy side. A king won't defeat a blight. We've had 40 generations of kings, and lost everything. I don't care if the Assembly puts a drunken monkey on the throne. Because our protector, our great invention, the thing that once made our armies the envy of the world, is lost to the very darkspawn it should be fighting. The Anvil of the Void. The means by which the ancients forged their army of golems and held off the first archdemon ever to rise. It's here, so close I can taste it. The anvil lies on the other side of a gauntlet of traps designed by Caradon himself. My people and I have given body and soul to unlocking its secrets. This is what's important. This has lasting meaning. If I succeed, the Dwarven people benefit. Kings, politics, all that is transitory. I've given up everything and would sacrifice anything to get the Anvil of the Void. Enough questions. If you wish me to get involved with this imbecilic election, I must first have the anvil. There's only one way out, Warden. Forward. Through Caridon's maze, and out to where the anvil waits.
What has this place done to you? I remember marrying a girl you could talk to for 1 minute and see her brilliance.
I am your paragon.
More foes approach! Begin the You will run! Fear me! True power! There we go. There is no hope now! Waste of time!
My name is Caridon. Once, longer ago than I care to think, I was a paragon to the dwarves of Orzammar. If you seek the anvil, then you must care about my story, or be doomed to relive it. Though I made many things in my time, I rose to fame and earned my status based on a single item, the Anvil of the Void. It allowed me to forge a man of steel or stone, as flexible and clever as any soldier. As an army, they were invincible, but I told no one the cost. No mere smith, however skilled, has the power to create life. To make my golems live, I had to take their lives from elsewhere. The Darkspawn were pressing in. Originally, I only took volunteers, the bravest of souls, willing to trade their very lives for the chance to defend their homeland. But King Valtor became greedy. He began to force men, casteless and criminals, his political enemies, all of them were to be given to the Anvil. It took feeling the hammer's blow myself to realize the height of my crimes. No! I entombed myself here to find a way to destroy the Anvil. It must not be used again!
No! The anvil is mine! No one will take it from me!
You, please, help me destroy the Anvil. Do not let it enslave more souls than it already has.
Don't listen! He's been trapped here for 1,000 years, stewing in his own madness. Help me claim the anvil, and you will have an army like you've never seen!
Branka, you mad, bleeding nugtail! Does this thing mean so much to you that you can't even see what you've lost to get it?
Look around. Is this what our empire should look like? A crumbling tunnel filled with darkspawn spume? The anvil will let us take back our glory!
Have you no desire to discover this anvil's potential? It is a marvel, a tool of creation. You could rival the Maker himself with this instrument. If you destroy the anvil, I swear you will regret it. Fool!
Thank you, stranger. Your compassion shames me.
Bah! You're not the only master smith here, Caradin. Golems, obey me! Attack!
A control room! But, my friend, you must help me. I cannot stop her alone.
You're a troublemaker, aren't you? I am a paragon! No, I command leader! No mercy! Mine!
Where's the music? Time to
The
dance!
anvil will be mine! And when it flies, you're going to die! I am a paragon! I cannot be defeated!
Go, you sound! Here comes Margaret! Straight the horses!
The anvil will be mine!
Time to get messy!
Listen. Another life lost because of my invention. I wish no mention of it had made it into history.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Stupid woman. Always knew the anvil would kill her.
But at least it ends here. I thank you for standing with me, stranger. The anvil waits there for you to shatter it.
Yes, excellent idea. Just destroy it now, after all this.
Is there any boon I can grant you for your aid? A final favor before I am freed from my burden? For the aid you've given me, I shall put hammer to steel one last time, and give you a crown for the king of your choice. There, it is done. Give it to whom you will. I do not wish to hear their names, nor anything more of them. I have already lived far beyond my time. I have no place here. Aye, that was my great pride, and soon enough, my shame. You have my eternal thanks, stranger. A trust in all Tumshire. May you always find your way in the dark.
Lords of the Assembly, I call for order. This argument gets us nowhere.
Then why these delaying tactics? I call for a vote right now. My father has one living child to assume the Idukan throne. Who would deny him that?
Your father made me swear on his deathbed you would not succeed him.
I apologize for the interruption, Lord Steward, but the Grey Warden has returned.
We should let the Warden speak. What news do you bring?
Caridin was trapped in the body of a golem. This Warden granted him the mercy he sought, releasing him and destroying the Anvil of the Void. Before he died, Caridin forged a crown for Orzammar's next king, chosen by the ancestors themselves.
And we are supposed to trust this? The word of a drunken sot and a Grey Warden known to be in Harrowmont's pocket?
Silence! This crown is of Paragon make, and bears House Hortan's ancient seal. Tell us, Warden, whom did Caridin choose?
The Grey Warden knows nothing about us. Why would a Paragon entrust someone like this with such a weighty decision? This is ridiculous!
We've argued in these chambers for too long. The will of the Paragon is that the Grey Warden decide.
I appreciate your forthrightness, Warden. You have acted with grace through this entire torturous process.
Let the memories find you worthy. First amidst the lords of the houses, the King of Orzammar.
I will not abide by this!
The ancestors have spoken.
Would you let a surfacer decide the fate of the dwarves?
Watch out! They brought weapons!
Guards!
So, I was thinking, we've come to know each other fairly well during our time in the Deep Roads. You're bloody fearsome for a human, and I'm a warrior without a house to defend. Wandering about killing Darkspawn with a sodding Grey Warden sounds like just the thing to keep me occupied. So what do you say? What good would I? You got so many allies you couldn't use one more? And one with 1,000 shattered Darkspawn skulls to his name? More than that. It'll cost me my house to take a trip like this. But I don't have a bleeding house to begin with, so who cares? I'm better off up there with you than down here where the sodding children laugh at me. And glad I am to hear it. You won't regret it. Now, do any of these sad sacks following you around know the first thing about making ale? Never mind. You can stop with the glaring. I'll ask him myself.
Just take you. Approach!
When you're gone, the ancestors will remember
I admit I did not think even Balin would defy the word of a paragon, nor that so many would follow him. But most of Orzammar has seen him for what he really is, and I trust we will bring this insurgency under control. Those loyal to the throne will begin preparations for a surface mission immediately. Orzammar will fulfill its treaties.
Thank you, King Harrowmont. Perhaps your rule will mark a new era for Orzammar.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must get to the palace and set our plans in motion. I will. This is the staff I carried as King Endrin's II. Take it as a reminder of your place in Orzammar. I wish you luck against the Blight Warden. May we foster another 4 centuries of peace.
Your role in this election will...
Give me a moment. By the stone. I feel like I'm about to fall off the world with all that sky up there. If I could fight Randar Volney's second after downing 15 lichen ales in half an hour, I'm not gonna be put off by a high sodding ceiling. Well, let's get moving. We're losing, daylight.
Is that all? It is surrounded by an ocean of darkspawn. How will you reach it? If you reach it, how will you slay it? You say you are a Grey Warden. I have heard stories of this order. Great strategists and peerless warriors. That is what we hear of the Wardens. So far, I am not impressed. Yes. Yes. Speak, then. Then I suggest we move on. I am hardly surprised. Very well. As you wish.
What do you need? Ask away.
Yes? Well, here I am. All right. It is my job to spin yarns after all. Which one? It will come to you soon.
Come to talk to old Ogren, have you? Don't know why. Nothing. I'm fine. Just, I got a hornet in my eye is all. Did you want to talk about something? What about? Oh, sure. I'm fine with it. I mean, she was a real firebrand between the sheets, but a bit soft in the skull, you know what I mean? Explains why she left, anyway. Oh, you don't know her. She was cracked like a glass floor. Before she was a paragon, I mean. After that, she really fell apart. I mean, she leaves me and flits about with that watered tart Hespith. What's she got that I don't? Just the thought of the two of them together, kissing and licking and intertwined on the floor of the deep roads. Yeah, I'm just gonna go back to the tent for a moment. Excuse me. What you need? What about? You get a sword or an axe, and are told to go out and defend your city. It's the best thing in the world. That is until you try to live in the city you saved. I mean, they train you to kill, teach you to harness your rage at the first noise you hear, then try to set 100 sodding rules about it. Like those provings. Ancestors show their favor through the strongest arm, right? So why so many rules saying how to fight, and when you win, and not to bloody kill? Killing's what swords are for. You toss a nug to a deep stalker, you don't expect it not to eat the thing, right? This makes me cranky. Don't you have any other inane questions? It's sodding great. At first I was a little queasy with all that air, but there's just so much of it. No one has any idea who you are or what you're doing. And the ale. Oh, who'd have thought? Ale made with grain. Aye, the surface is great. It's like a big, bright world of filth without a ceiling. My kind of place. Hey, let's go find something to kill, huh? All this talk makes my hands twitchy. You there. Hi, you. I've been watching you. Where can I get some sauce for that rump roast? That's right. You've wiped your foot on the Ogren doormat of love. Go and make yourself ready, woman. I'll be right there to see to it. What you need? What about? What? Miss Orzammar? Are you mad, in addition to being ugly? They treated me like a puddle fly back there. I'm never going back. All right. All right.
Orzammar has sent her best, Warden. It has been a long time since the Dwarven army has marched on the surface. Don't worry about that. You'll be...
What do you wish of me? We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any. What do you wish, if you must?
Not unless they were asking me for a favor. Well, there was that one time in Denerim, but those women were not like you. Why? Is this your way of telling me you think I'm handsome? Just idle conversation, huh? Not flirting at all? All right then, have it your way. Something on your mind? Of course. Never what? Had a good pair of shoes? I'm not sure I do. Have I never seen a basilisk? Ate jellied ham? Have I never licked a lamppost in winter? Make fun of you, dear lady. Perish the thought. Well, tell me, have you ever licked a lamppost in winter? Oh, so that's what we're talking about. I admit I've never had a woman just come out and ask me like this, that's for sure. I, myself, never had the pleasure. Not that I haven't thought about it, of course. But, you know. Well, living in the Chantry is not exactly a life for rambunctious boys. They taught me to be a gentleman, especially in the presence of beautiful women such as yourself. That's not so bad, is it? Good. You'd want a gentleman to court you, wouldn't you? If you were to be courted by someone, that is. Ah. Well said. Enough. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's go.